What is up? Welcome to the transparency. Let's talk about it. Again, this is Jared Brightigan, Shanna Gardner. Jose Baez is representing Shanna Gardner. Jared Brightigan was gunned down February 16th, 2022, after he was taking his two children, the twins, on Wednesdays. The other parent that didn't have the kids that week had date night with the two twins, Jared and Shanna Gardner's twins that they had through their marriage. So in 2022, they were divorced in 2015. And so in 2022, Jared would be gunned down February 16, 2022, after dropping off the twins. Well, all these months would go by. So March, April, May, June. We get to July here. And Shanna Gardner had remarried. What's up, everybody? What's up? Shanna Gardner had remarried. And when she remarried, she married a guy named Mario Fernandez Saldana. And they got remarried in 2018. So 2018, 19, 20, and now you get to 2022. So let's take a look at something on how this progression would work, because I think it's interesting. July 18th, 2022. So the murder happens again in February. So February to March, March to April, April to May, May to June, June to July. 5 months. Come on in, everybody. 5 months. Everybody immediately thought that Shanna Gardner had something to do with this because of their horrible divorce. And this is what I think is interesting. Mario Saldana owned, before he got married to Shanna Gardner, he owned rental property. And so one of his pieces of property was this Potomac Ave property right here. And 5239 Potomac Ave. So in July, this is wild. In July of 2022, Detective Johns, who we saw on the stand, and Lamont, they drive over to talk to this guy named it's J.O., Jeremy. So we'll call him J.O. That's how he's referred to. So 5 months, they go and they talk to this guy for the first time ever at a house that they would have known existed for 5 months. Okay? Mario Saldana is the landlord. He collects the rent. Okay? When they go over to this house, they find I'm going to zoom in so I can show you guys better. Okay. So J.O. stated that he moved into this residence in February. February would be the month of the murder, okay? After leaving the house next door, after leaving the house. I mean, I think that whoever wrote this, Detective Johns, whoever wrote this is horrible, by the way. Anyways. July 18th. What this report basically says, they go over there. And this is the first time that they ever went to this property that they ever talked to anybody. And up against the garage would be this tire. And Henry Tennant wasn't home, but when the cops were there, he just miraculously is there pulling in with a different vehicle. He gets out. He basically puts like a bowl of water that he puts water in. He lays it. It happens to be right next to this tire. Well, I wanted to know more about this tire that just miraculously shows up. And I don't believe it was on record, because the whole thing was recorded except for once the interview was once the interview was with Tenen was complete. You see this shit? You guys know how long it took me to read this because of this stuff? I need to crack a beer. You guys, whoever wrote these reports is so bad, and I know who it is, but once the interview was with Tenen was complete, Burrell noticed what appeared to be a BF Goodrich truck tire leaning against the garage. Detective Burrell spoke with Ordway, that's J.O., about that tire and collected it. Because this is how this all went down. Oh, hey, what's that tire doing there? Can you just imagine? Can you just imagine someone coming to your house, the cops come in your house, and then they say to you, oh, what's that tire there? And you're just like, you know what, I really don't know. It was left in my front yard. And so it was left in my yard. And so I picked it off my yard because I was tired looking at it. And I put it up against the garage. Look at this. There's two detectives there. So this is the other guy's version of the events. But when they asked him about the tire, that part wasn't being audio recorded. Approximately 5 minutes later, and while J.O. was talking to Detective Lamont, an older black man driving, so this is that part. And this is when he sees this guy just happens to see Henry get out, Henry fill up a bowl, and put it next to a truck tire. There was no truck. There was no truck though in the driveway. Did not see any other tires in the area. And Detective Lamont may have wanted to speak some more with Tenen, so I just was briefly talking about unrelated matters while waiting for J.O. and Detective Lamont to finish speaking. After Detective Lamont finished talking with J.O., Detective Lamont interviewed Tenen. Following the interview, I asked J.O. about the tire. Leads me to believe that none of this was on audio recording. J.O. said that the tire did not belong to him, and he said he found in front of his house by the curb, said while pointing the grassy area by his driveway. He did not say as to when or why he brought it up from the roadway to his house. So think about this, guys. Think about this. 5 months would go by. 5 months would go by. And then I said to myself, but wait a second. When was the last time that Mario Saldana was at this house? Because there is no way in hell that Mario Saldana would just leave go over there to pick up rent and see that tire was just laying in the grass and him not be like, what the fuck? And grab that shit and get rid of it. Just think about this. Okay. I just can't believe he's like, do you want me to take that off your hands? He's like, I asked if he wanted the tire or wanted me to dispose of it for him. To which he said, I could take the tire. I could just take the tire. So they just happened to go to this house because I would have been checking the known associates of Mario Saldana and Shanna Gardner day one. And then these are people that, and so you would think that any of the property he has tenants at or whatever, and 5 months would go by. 5 months would go by, and then miraculously, the day that the cops happen to go there, just with it literally would have had to have been just a couple days before that. So I think he's a complete wacko. I do. I think he's a complete wacko, and I agree. But I just like, what are the odds that they just happen to come across this tire? Who the hell? But Mario Saldana was there last, like the week before this. And I'm just like, I'm thinking in my head, there's just no way that he would have drove to that house, collecting their rent money like both these guys testify to, and that he would have saw a tire, especially that tire, and not take that tire. That would match. That would be a match for the tire that's in evidence. Just think about that. So again, here we go. And that these people would not be talked to for 5 months. Or is it that they were being followed? Okay. But something here just doesn't add up. Now, I wanted to get to the bottom of the next part, which is, okay, what tire was this? They're saying it's a match to the tire that was found in front of Jared's car. Is the whole reason it was a ruse to get him out of the vehicle, so to move the tire that was in his way of him driving. Which I'm just shocked, you guys. How many times there's been like a tire in the middle of the road? I've never gotten out and moved the tire. I've drove around it. I'm starting to think that it wasn't just a tire was in the middle of the road. Because why would you? I could see somebody maybe being broken, act like they're broken down, you know. But a tire, I would just drove around. I wouldn't. I'm not. Why do I need to move that tire? Anyways, 5 months to get their story straight. It's something's weird to me about it. But anyways, they go over there, and so they get this tire, and from my understanding, none of this is going to be on record because it was like after the interview. So I had asked if he wanted to, hey, what's that tire doing there? I would be like, excuse me, huh? Why are you asking about a tire? Oh, do you want me to take that tire for you? What? Why? No, I don't want you to take it. Why would I want you to take that tire? Like everything about that. Just woo. Okay, so we'll go with it though. Here we go. They go get this tire. Now they go and check the next day. I'd be getting my ass right there like that night. But we'll wait till the next day. To say, hey, we're going to go check out this tire that we just got and compare it to the tire from the night of the murder. And oh yeah, this is what Henry Tennant said, by the way. This was his first. So mind you, Henry would have been there. When this tire would have been allegedly seen and been like asked questions about. Let me zoom in here. Tennant would go on to explain that he has known Saldana for 4 years and advised that there has been no other tenants during his time renting the residence. The tenant found the property due to a female renting her room to him. Tenant paid cash, and Mario would come to the property to get the payment. Tenant was asked if anyone would come by the house with Saldana, with Mario during these times. Tenant advised occasionally a female would accompany Saldana, but he did not know who she was. Henry would go on to explain Saldana would only come by the property when there was an issue or to collect rent. Tenant said that an individual named John or Joseph would come by to conduct maintenance on the house. Henry would later confirm the name was John. Tennant described him, blah, blah, blah. Tennant would go to explain he is no longer in communication with Saldana. I want to hear that. Tennant said the last time he spoke with Saldana was in May. Tennant advised he came to visit Orway in May, and he saw him briefly. Tennant would go to describe Saldana as constantly being in a rush and would never stay very long. Tennant would go to explain Saldana was never violent or aggressive in his presence. Once the interview was with Tennant was completed, look at that. Look at that. Detective Burrell noticed, look, they have to make it a point to say that because the tape wasn't rolling, is my guess. Detective Burrell noticed what appeared to be a BF Goodrich truck tire leaning against the garage. Detective Burrell spoke with Orway about the tire and collected it. The interaction with Orwell is documented in his supplement, meaning that's the only documentation of that. That is not, he didn't have the audio still going for that. Now, don't you think that was nuts? We find this tire 5 months later. It just happens to be randomly at the end of actually, I'll show you the house. I'll pull up the house. It doesn't make any sense. Who just takes a tire and throws it at the end of your lawn? Then, like, somebody would have had to do that because this jail guy says that he didn't do it. Henry didn't have that truck, you guys, for months. It stopped working in March. So where did this truck tire come from? Bella B, don't they have spell check? Oh shit, girl, straight robotics up in this motherfucker. Wait for it. It gets even. I'm just like trying to read this. Like, I gotta read this again. So it was just a weird encounter 5 months later. Then when you actually need the goods that you're going to get, oh, that part's not recorded about the tire. Okay. Then literally the next day, so crazy here. That John, or that biggest staff guy right here, who Henry just was talking about, saying, oh yeah, Saldana had some maintenance man, At approximately 1500 hours, I received a report from the FBI in reference to a human trafficking investigation involving John Biggerstaff. Biggerstaff is a close associate of Mario Saldana, and the report will be reviewed. Any information pertaining to this investigation will be further documented in a later supplement. Human trafficking report, and I about fell over, By the way, John Biggerstaff and his wife are swingers, and so is Saldana, but Gardner isn't. Saldana was trying, and I think maybe he did have relations with Maria, his John Biggerstaff's, I don't know if it's his wife, fiance, who knows, who cares? Just wild shit. So after you would get like this big little tire, I'm like, okay, what are they gonna go do? Well, he took the tire. This is all the pictures that he took, so putting in evidence. And here it is. On 7/22, they got to take this tire to get swabbed with DNA and blah, blah, blah. Well, they wanted us to know that Detective Burrell stated that he touched that tire without gloves when he retrieved the tire. I collected 2 swabs from him for elimination purposes. I took overall pictures, close up, and then marked the shit. So that got put in evidence. The DNA, or like the swabs, and Detective Burrell. So wait for it. Here we go. Now, J.O., literally within 5 days becomes a person of interest. Okay, because remember what Detective John says on the stand. We thought that he was involved. We thought that he was conspiring to commit murder, and we wanted cooperation from him. Okay, so, and that's when Jose Baez basically nuts him and says, "So you told him things about the investigation?" Yeah, sure we did. Look at. I advised Jo we had some follow-up questions and asked him if he would be okay if we recorded our conversation. He agreed. I asked if he would be willing to provide a DNA sample. He stated he just recently had to do the same thing for his probation officer and agreed. Probation officer. Jo was asked how he knew Mario. He stated he only knew him as the landlord. Stated he lived next door with his father and would see Mario when he came to collect the rent or complete repairs. He said that his dad and Tenon were friends, and that was his dad's only friend. So he felt bad, and so he let Henry use his vehicle. He said he did not know anything about the tire. Can you imagine somebody coming over to your house and being like, "Hey, we got questions about this tire." What tire? Well, the tire that was in your yard. Well, I don't know anything about the tire. I don't know. It was just there, and I picked it up and I put it on the side of my house. Like, that's gonna be like, it's like, wait, what? I'd be like, who the fuck? Like, he said he did not know anything about the tire. He said it was initially in the ditch in front of the house. He initially stated it somehow ended up on the side of the house. So now he's like, I didn't put it on the side of the house. And he was not sure how it even got there. Then he stated the tire somehow ended up in the front yard. And he was tired of seeing if Philip was, look at this, look at these people typing. Wait, what? What does that say? Let's read that again. Okay. Then he stated the tire somehow ended up in the front yard, and he was tired of seeing it fill with water, so he set it up against the side of the house. He stated he was not concerned with the tire because he did not own a truck. And he stated Tenon has not had his truck in several months since the engine blew up. Jo was asked what type of truck Tenon had. He said, it is like yours, motioning to the street where our unmarked Ford F-150 was at. He was asked what color the truck was. He said it was blue. He said Tenon's father died, and Tenon went up to Georgia and got his father's truck. I showed him a picture of a blue 2004 Ford F-150. Yep, that's it. Sure is. Can you imagine going and getting this truck in December? Your dad dies, gives you this truck, you open December, and then you commit a murder with this truck? It's like supposed to have like all this sentimental value to you? Yeah, that's it. Orwell said that once the truck was no longer functional, like who goes and gets a truck and then you find out that the truck is just going to blow up on you? Tenon left the truck at Twins food store for about 2 weeks. and had it moved to a yard somewhere nearby. But he was not exactly sure where it was. He said the truck has not run in about 3 months. Why? I would be like, why don't you ask Henry where the fuck his truck is? I don't know where his truck is. Let me tell you something. I've gotten to know how black people, based off like with the Aliquippa stuff that I did, there's no way that all of this shit is being offered up. I'm sorry, it's not happening. There is no effing way this is happening. I want to hear this. I want to hear this conversation. He's not going to offer up all this information about this dude. There's just no way. I gotta know what he said to him. He said the truck has not run in about 3 months. He did not know where the truck was towed to. Now, what's funny is that after you already know who Henry Tennant was, right? You already would have ran him. You would have ran his name, not on the 26th, but back on like the 18th, 19th, 20th, when you were talking to him. Okay? You would have ran it and you would have like seen what cars he had. Okay? So I believe that they knew all this shit. All this shit. And they wanted to see what he knew. Like, if he was going to lie to him, blah, blah. Because there ain't no way that you just on this day ran this shit on this day. I'm sorry, I just don't, no way. Like, you may have typed it up in your little fucking report on this day, but this would be horrible if you didn't. You get Henry's name, you do his interview on the 18th or the 19th of July, and then here on July 26th, you're just going to like, you know. So they flag it and do whatever. And so this is where they say that the truck from the LPR photos and the video obtained during the day of the homicide appear to match. So, where do they tell him that his truck was used in the homicide? Oh, here we go. On July 26th, Jeremy advised Henry Tennant drove a blue F-150, similar to the vehicle of the interest in this case, because this is like the other guy, because they went in two. So this is like his version of the report. So that's like the same thing. And then on July 27th, they were then searching these streets, these areas, to try to find this truck. Okay. And the truck was not present at any of the above mentioned businesses. Like, there was a shit ton of them. Okay. And I think it's interesting that they were able to hit all these places all in this one day. It must have just been like everything like right around there. So then on the 28th, because I'm trying to pay attention to what they're doing, at approximately 1400 hours, I searched the parking lot of the Arbor Place Apartments located while reviewing the location data received from Mario Saldana's cellular site search warrant. So this was everywhere that he would have went before the murder. His phone was in this area the day prior to the murder. The truck was not found in the parking lot. While searching the parking lot, contact was made with a Kevin, who is a member of the maintenance crew. Kevin was showed a picture of the truck. Kevin stated he has seen a truck matching that description in the lot. He does not believe the individual driving the truck is a resident because the truck is not seen with regularity. Okay. So the next that they do is August 1st. What was that day? July 28th. August 1st. Again, they're looking for this truck, man. Okay. Then August 1st, then we get to August 8th. So I'm like, what the hell do these people do from August 1st to August 8th? I'm just curious. I'm nosy. So I just like write that down and keep it in my back pocket. Well, Customs and Border Protection, blah, blah, they did a helicopter flyover. They're trying to locate this Ford F-150. They couldn't find it. They took a helicopter. Holy shit. Right? Then, same day, August 8th. At approximately, so now remember, wait till you see this. At approximately 1200 hours, requested cell phone location data was received from T-Mobile for Henry Tennant. Okay? So they were able to get probable cause to get this historical data. Look at how long, look at that though. They got 6 months worth. Just curious what was on that search warrant. Upon reviewing the data, it was discovered. So they ended on this day because that's probably when they put in for it. Okay, look at, you know how Payne got his back like the day of. Wow, right? Upon reviewing the data, it was discovered 2 phone calls of interest were made from Tennant's cellular phone the night of 2/16/2022. Phone calls were made at 21:18 hours and 21:23 hours. Both calls were made utilizing the towers in Jacksonville Beach and were incoming calls, not outgoing. So like Tennant got the phone calls, right? Is that what that says? It was discovered 2 phone calls of interest were made from Tennant's cellular phone call. They were made from his phone because that would be outgoing, right? Isn't that confusing right there? Made from would be outgoing, right? So fucking stupid these people are. See, made from? Made from would be Tennant outgoing. Both calls were made utilizing and were incoming calls. What the fuck? You guys, this cannot be correct. You can't make a call that'd be outgoing. Made from Tennant cellular phone calls. It was made from it. It would say received. So was it outgoing or was it incoming? Okay? We'll come back. We'll see if we can figure it out ourselves. Lana, you deep dive so much and way better than any of us that I've seen. Thank you so much. Oh, I think about, yeah. Think about crazy shit, girl. Oh, like my latest. Oh my God, you guys, breaking news in Idaho. Dr. Drake, Dr. Moore case. Breaking motherfucking news. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so excited. So excited. Jennifer Drake had Google phones. I found them. My life. I found them. Jennifer Drake, I found your Google shit. Wait for it. I found them buried in a 2018 text message. I've been going through text messages from 2015 to 2020. Like, my eyes were just like falling, like peeling. Yeah, so I gotta look into that. But thanks, appreciate that. So at approximately 10 hours, a review of the local license plate reader was conducted in conjunction with the cellular data. So then this day, so 3 days later, you do this, which is on 4/2/2022 at approximately 16:22 hours. This is them saying this is the last time that we were able to ever see. Yeah, she was adding phone numbers to a Google. I'm looking and seeing how I can map it all. But this was the last time that a license plate reader was ever able to pick up his vehicle. Was on 4/2/2022. And on the same day, on 4/2/2022, at approximately 13:06 hours, Tennant's truck was serviced at Discount Tire, located at 7237 Boulevard. Tenant purchased 2 new tires, and it appears they were placed on the front axle. Okay, so if he got 2 new tires on 4/2/2022, this is after the murder, though. Okay? After the murder, 2 new tires, because this is the day of the murder. Then they realized, and then they said, according to the papers, the receipt, tenant kept 1 tire and disposed of 1 tire through Discount Tire. So ready? So he got the 2 new tires on this day, and he kept one of the old ones and disposed of one of them. But still, why does any of that matter? Think about this. Because this is after the murder. Okay? So you just kept one. Why? Okay, so he's got 4 tires on his car. 2 are new, 2 are old, and he has 1 tire old in possession. Okay? Then what? Then this. At approximately, okay, they go to a different store. He said Discount Tire had 2 dates of service for Henry. Wright said he had no direct information for either dates of service and said his business surveillance footage only goes back so many days. Okay. The first date of service is April 2nd, 2022. And that was for the 2004 Ford F-150. And a purchase of 2 AS8 tires. Wait, what? Okay. Okay. A debit card, which according to the receipt card ending in blah represents, okay. According to Wright, whomever brought in the truck kept the front driver's side tire. Okay. The second date of service, April 23rd, and that was for the Crown. I scanned a copy of the receipt. Awesome. And they're looking for the truck. You two be tripping these days. This isn't normal for Lana. Oh, what? I didn't make a thumbnail, and I'd rather just think about something for myself. All right. Whatever tire was used had to be bought before 2/18 or 2/16. In the old days, many men, including my father, Grandfather kept their best old tire, put it on an old rim, and made it their spare tire. But see, none of the tires that were on his truck could have been the tire in the middle of the road, because then how in the world are you getting home? Let's just see how this matches. I don't understand. I mean, right, Katie? I mean, come on. I'm like, something's missing here, because this doesn't make any sense. Like, who cares if Henry Tennant bought tires after the murder? And like, how can those tires be a match to something that was previously, like, because he's like, oh, there's one from November. It was bought in November in the 48th week. Okay. Let's see. Oh, they're like, oh, we forgot to put our thing in evidence. Okay, great. Now here. Oh, now August 18th. This is the arresting day. So at 8:45, I responded to 5239 Potomac to retrieve keys from the resident. I spoke with resident J.O., who handed me a set of keys. J.O. explained what each key went to. Jeremy stated the other set of keys were Henry's Ford truck keys. How can he just give him his truck keys? You know what I mean? I was instructed to take the keys and put them into property. The 4 truck keys were placed into property as evidence. The other keys were put into property as safekeeping. Okay. On Friday, August 19th, at approximately 8, I met with, okay. This is the day, remember, August 18th is the day that Henry Tennant was arrested for the traffic stop. Okay? So, August 18th, approximately at 5:30, he went over there twice. Those fucking liars on that day. Notifying I was contacted in reference to taking control of Tennant's dog. While speaking with J.O., he further interviewed in reference to Tennant and his 2004 blue F-150 truck. Orway was advised Tennant's truck was used in the murder of Jared Bridegan. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. He said, he writes it in his own report. They conduct this though down. The interview was audio recorded. Also present for the interview was Detective Cullen with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Orwell was advised of the previous statements he has made in reference to Tennant and his blue. Orwell stated, I admit I took Henry to go get that truck when his dad died. J.O. further said the truck has been broken down since January or February. J.O. stated after the truck broke down, he let Tennant drive the Crown Vic, which belonged to his dad. J.O. would go to explain the truck was taken to a yard. J.O. would further explain the yard as a general mechanics shop. J.O. advised he gave Tennant $1,000 to fix the truck because had a blown engine. J.O. stated he gave Tenon the money in March. He never got the $1,000 back. It should be noted that Orway called Tenon at approximately 21:18 hours the night of the murder. So if you back it up, though, Orway stated he had... Orway would continue to explain the truck has been broken down since the beginning of the year. J.O. explained he has lived at the current address since February. J.O. stated he has had his current number for 8 years. J.O. stated, I am not stressing because I called Henry because, hey, man, can you bring me home or something like that? What the fuck is this? You guys, look at this shit. Who's writing this? J.O. would go to explain Tenon was his father's only friend, and this is why he let Tenon borrow the money. J.O. would continue to explain the truck has been broken down since the beginning of the year. J.O. explained he has lived at his current address since February. J.O. That's the month of murder. J.O. stated he has had his current number for 8 years. J.O. said, quote unquote, I am not stressing because I called Henry because, hey man, can you bring me home or something like that? It should be noted J.O. called Tenon at approximately 21:18 hours the night of the murder. Yeah, 9:18. J.O. was asked why he was hesitant about talking about the truck during previous interviews. He was hesitant. J.O. would go on to explain he was not trying to volunteer anyone's life story. J.O. stated he wasn't trying to be deceitful, but he wasn't trying to offer any more information than the detectives gave him. What? J.O. advised he is trying to keep himself from being involved in this incident. I'm sorry, but just because someone may be talking like that, you do not have to write like that unless you're going to put that in quotes. Like, that's just unreal. Orway was asked why he was hesitant about talking about the truck. He is trying to keep himself from being involved in this incident. Orway advised he never drove the truck and he has never seen anyone drive Tenon's truck. J.O. stated he has driven the Crown Vic several times, but never any long distance. God damn. J.O. was asked about the phone call he made to Tenon the night of the murder. So why would he call, if Tenon needed a ride, why wouldn't Tenon call him? You know? J.O. could not recall what the conversation was about. J.O. advised Tenon has not talked about the victim's murder. J.O. stated Tenon had no issue with the discovery of the truck tire. Previously discovered exactly, because why in the world would you ever leave? Who cares about that truck tire? That truck tire has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Because from my understanding, you're going to sit here and tell me that truck tire was purchased after the murder. 2 of them. because if he took off the tire, let's say that no, there's no way that the tire in front of it would never match, even if you used your spare tire one. Because your spare tire one, if you did what you guys are talking about, it would be from the previous batch because you would keep your old one. Dude, this is so fucked up, man. This is so wild because I don't understand. I mean, let his third grade kid get writing practice. I mean, I can't even. Okay. Let's see. Jan advised after the first interview, he contacted Mario in reference to the visit. Mario stated detectives were interviewing associates and he apologized. Joe advised Saldana never mentioned any conflict with the victim. Joe would go to explain he is not friends with Saldana and he does not know anything about him. Joe advised he has not visited Saldana in Jacksonville Beach, and the last time he was in Jacksonville Beach was 6 years ago. So remember, he's a person of interest. They think that we thought that he conspired. Like we thought he was involved. They thought that J.O. was involved in this. Okay? So J.O. goes down to that freaking, he's sitting there, and they're probably grilling him, saying, we know that you did this. You did it. You're calling this guy. His truck is involved. You guys are sharing cars. Okay? He's talking without a lawyer. Joe would go to explain he believes Henry Tennant and Saldana met through renting the property. Joe described a time when Tennant helped Saldana fill in a pool at a property. Joe could not remember when this event occurred. Joe advised it may have been like 6 months ago. Joe would continue to state he did not know where the truck is currently located. Joe did advise he believes it is in the area of the Potomac Avenue area. Joe stated Tennant did not discuss getting rid of the truck. Remember when he testified that they were using like burner phones or something? I want to see where that comes into play. J.O. would go to explain Tennant has a phone plan which contains 4 cellular phone lines. J.O. stated one belongs to his girlfriend and one is used by some lady. J.O. could not say who was in possession of these phones. It should be noted, Janie Deal was referred to as Tennant's girlfriend. J.O. later explains Peanut as having one of the phones without the A, guys. Peanut. Peanut has been identified as Janie Deal. Janie Deal is also listed in Saldana's contacts as Peanut. J.O. would go to explain an incident where Henry Tennant contacted him by one of the 4 phones. J.O. described receiving a phone call from an unknown number, and it was Tennant. Tennant stated his phone's battery was dead and that this was why he was contacting J.O. with this unknown number. J.O. stated Tennant is usually in possession of 2 phones. J.O. stated he has never had a conversation with Tennant about Bradigan's murder. J.O. stated he asked Saldana about the murder, but he did not speak with him about it. J.O. stated he has never seen Tennant with any weapons other than a shotgun he received from his father. End of the interview. Thursday. At approximately 7, I arrived at the 4th, which is located, okay. Upon my arrival, I prepared to conduct interviews with Janie. Janie, listen to Janie. Janie's great. Does Janie go first? I just want to read a couple of the highlights. Janie begins the interview by saying she was on the way to the methadone clinic at the time of the traffic stop with Tennant. Oh my God. So you're going to sit here and tell me that frickin' Mario Saldana hired meth addicts to kill Jared Bradigan? Deal advised William was also going to the methadone clinic as well. Deal advised She has known Tenen for over 20 years, and they dated once during this time of 20 years. Deal advised Tenen takes her to the clinic every morning. After dropping her off at the house, Tenen goes to work. Deal advised Tenen currently lives at a house located at 5290 Potomac Avenue. It should be noted, this is Mario Saldana's. Deal advised Tenen has lived here for a couple of years. Deal explained she lived with Tenen for a year. Prior to J.O. living at 5239 Potomac Ave, he lived next door. Tenen was supposed to be moving out, and J.O. moved into. Deal was asked what kind of vehicle Tenen drove, and in the past, Deal says he currently drives that Crown Vic, and he was pulled over in, and she only remembers him having a bicycle. Deal advised Tenen has borrowed cars to take her to the clinic. Deal stated he borrows J.O.'s red convertible too. You better give me that methadone clinic, motherfuckers. She says Janie does not like to be around J.O. because he drinks, and she does not like to be around alcohol. She's okay around meth, though. Get out of here. Get out. Yeah, there's a little bit of cameras. It'll be interesting. This seems like Mario snapped and did shit with fucking idiots. Okay? Just mouth him here. Deal advised the truck is currently broke down. She didn't mention because it was broke down. Everybody has the same story about that damn truck breaking down. I'll say that. So Henry, they're talking about, and then she said twin food, same as he did. Deal would go on to explain the truck. The truck is with a friend of Tenen's who's a mechanic. Deal advised Tenen has allowed other people to borrow the truck, but she does not know who. Yes, it is. I was just being. Didn't mean to say stop. She's like, you stop it now. Like, this is who I want to be. Deal advised Saldana would give her rides from time to time. Deal was asked again about the whereabouts of Tenen's truck. Deal continued to state she did not know where that damn truck was. Tenen was getting the truck fixed by a friend who is a black dude who works on cars. It is. Nothing known as an opiate blocker. Yep. Okay. Then we get to this part. There we go. Tenen. This is suspect. But sometime he goes to 87. Okay, what is it? The interview was audio and visually recorded. During the first part of the interview, Tenen was asked about his driving habits. Tenen was asked if he used any other vehicles. He said he was also driving a truck for about 8 months until he started having trouble. He was asked who owned the truck. He said it was his father's. He said his father passed away and left him the truck. He said he thinks he got the truck around the first of the year. He said it was a 2004 F-150. He drove it until the truck stopped running. He stated he could not afford to get it fixed, so he sold it for parts. He stated the truck broke down in February. Same month, same day, same when the murder, February. Tennant was shown an LPR license plate reader hit from April that shows the truck at 103rd and Ricker. He said he kept the truck for about a month after he put the tires on the truck April 2nd. Tennant was asked if he ever had that fucker towed anywhere. He said he had it towed in April when he... Oh, wait a second. He said he had it towed home in April when the oil pump went out. He said he then sold the truck for parts in a cash deal. You guys think about this. How does this tire end up on the lawn? He said he then sold the truck. Okay. He did not know the person's name who purchased the truck. He was asked if he ever let anyone else drive his car. He said the only one he ever let drive his car was Jimmy, but he was always with him. He was asked if he ever let anyone use his truck without him being in the truck. He stated Jerry, J.O., would be the only person who he would ever let use the truck. He said Jerry used the truck twice while he was at work, both times during the middle of the day. Yeah, I'm so confused with the truck and time. That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of right here because it doesn't make sense. Tennant was shown a picture of the truck and asked where he was going on February 16th around 6:30 in the evening. He said if he was out at the beach, he was at a restaurant, Burnt Ends. He was asked where it was. He said it was on the rights. On the rights. What the fuck? He said it was on the rights off Beach Boulevard, approximately 4 blocks past Taco Live. It should be noted the only barbecue restaurant in that location is Mo Joe's Barbecue, located at 1500. Tennant was advised the night he was at the beach, there was someone murdered. He was asked who had his truck during the murder. He initially said he did not know. He did not know. He then asked, what? Oh, wait. He then asked what night it was again. What night was it again? He was asked if he was in the truck. He said he was not in the truck. He was asked who had his truck. He said he did not know. He was asked if Mario had his truck. He said no. Versus who's Mario? Probably like Mario who? Did Mario have a truck? No. He was asked again, what happened to his truck that night? He did not answer. He was then asked why his phone was off that night. He said it must have went dead. He was asked to tell us what happened that night, and he said he really doesn't know. Henry was shown a picture of John Biggerstaff. He stated he used to drive a white Chevy. He was shown a picture of Mario, and he said that was his ex-landlord. Tennant stated he does not know anything that can help us put him away, motioning to a picture of Fernandez Saldana. Tennant was told there was various items against him, and his cell phone was pinging in Jacksonville Beach. After several denials and stating he did not know any information, He stated he did not know what happened involving his truck until detectives told him. He stated he drove to the truck to the restaurant. Wait, what? He said he drove to the truck to the restaurant. He said he drove to the barbecue restaurant in Jacksonville Beach sometime after 5 p.m. He stated a key stays in the ignition and a key stays with him. He was asked if he saw a picture of the person who took his truck. Would he know of them? He stated he would. He would know who took it. What the fuck? He was asked where he was at when the truck was taken. He said he was standing in the doorway of the restaurant. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was just standing in the doorway of the restaurant when my truck was taken. Tannen stated the truck was parked in the parking lot of the restaurant near the main road, Beach Boulevard. He was asked how long he was in the restaurant for. He said he was not sure, but it was a pretty long time. He said he had to walk to the plaza, the opposite side of Taco Lu, to get his truck. He stated a green SUV pulled up and told him he could find his truck in the plaza next to Taco Lu. He stated he walked down Beach Boulevard and made a left at a little store and got a bottle of water and a soda. He stated his truck was parked near the plaza on the other side of the restaurant. He stated this was about 9:30, 10 o'clock. He was asked if the same person who asked to borrow the truck is the same person that took it from the parking lot. He stated it was not. He stated the person who asked to borrow the truck was Danny. He said he and Danny used to do work for that fool, pointing to a picture of Saldana. What? Detective Khan touched the picture of Fernandez Saldana and saying, this guy? Tannen said, yeah. He stated he has known Danny for about 8 months prior to borrowing that truck. He stated Danny asked him to borrow the truck in January, but there were issues with his truck. He stated Danny purchased a new battery and an alternator for the truck, which Tannen felt lock him in to help. What? Tannen stated he was told to meet at the restaurant and they would leave from there. He stated Danny knew there was a key in the ignition since they had used it to do landscaping jobs together. You guys, this is Tannen's. This is the guy that's picked up. This is the guy that picked up. This is who has confessed to killing Jerry Bright after this first. Like this is his first ever interview. Tannen was asked if he used his secondary cell phone to call his cell phone that was left in the truck. He said he used his phone to call the phone in the truck because he could not find the truck. Oh my god. Wait, what? He was calling himself. He said he was upset with Danny because he did not bring his truck back in the time frame he was told it would be back. He stated he did not see the person yelling from the green truck. What? He said he did not see the person yelling from the green truck was Danny because they knew him. What? But he did not actually see the person. He was asked if he recognized his tire was no longer in the back. He said, yep. What? His tire in the back? What are you talking about, though? Yep. He was asked if he talked to Danny after that night. He stated no, because Danny did not bring his truck back. And he doesn't have his phone number. Oh my God. He was asked if Danny was white or black. He was shown a picture of John Bickerstaff and asked if that was who came and got his truck. He said he did not think it. He did not think it as him. Wow. Tennant stated there isn't a whole lot he can tell us other than it was his truck. And he was not driving the truck. He was asked if he was in the truck, and he said no. He stated, all I know is Danny had my truck to move some tires, some parchments, or something, and that is it. He then said Danny left his black Mazda at Potomac and took the truck from there. What? He said, to the best of my knowledge, Danny had my truck. Henry stated, we, the police, have pictures of his truck and he was not in it. He said it was one of his rims and tires left at the crime scene, which was fucked. Wait. Oh, wait. Henry stated, we, the police, have pictures of his truck, and he was not in it. He said anything he say is going to be messed up because he can't say Fernandez Saldana took his truck. He said it was one of his rims and tires left at the crimes scene, which was fucked up. He then said Danny used his truck to repo someone's car, and Tennant did not want to participate, so he agreed to let him stay. What is this? Let them stay at the restaurant because he did not want to be involved. He said someone pulled up in two-door black Mazda. Tennant then stated, there is nothing else I can tell you. Detective Cullen asked him what his concern was with telling us the truth. He said his main concern is always about his kids and his grandkids. He was asked if this has something to do with their safety. Tennant said, pretty much, and well-being. Tennant stated, there ain't anything else I can give you, and I think I need an attorney. How did that go from that to Tennant saying that he was the shooter? That he was the shooter and cut a deal with the state. He's saying that he's the shooter. Okay? Think about this. Tennant, you say that you're the shooter, cut a deal with the state, turn state's evidence to testify against Saldana. Okay? And, but this is, I mean, wow, this is a whole story and well written. Who drives a Mazda? While conducting an interview with John Bickerstaff, he agreed to submit sample of his DNA after playing. Tennant said that Mario Saldana was with him. So then how this all happens is that Mario Saldana or Tennant says that he takes a plea deal and pleads guilty to being the shooter. He shot and killed Jared Brightingham, and he shot and killed Jared Brightingham for $150,000, of which he was gonna get in forms of like he got $5,000 in a check. Again, this is allegedly like what they're saying, that Saldana wrote him a check for $5,000, and it said this is a Kickstarter for your pallet business, but there really wasn't a pallet business, and he was just going to be trickling in his money, funneling this money to him. I just don't buy any of it. Who the fuck says yeah? All right, I'll kill him for you, $5,000, and then you're just gonna give me like that's one hell of a story. To then turn around and say, okay, yeah, no, it was me, I really did shoot him. So they took that. Ooh. It still doesn't make any sense about the tire, the truck. Because that wouldn't have anything to do with that rim. That rim and that tire could not be the rim and the tire that was left there at the crime scene. Because those were bought at two different times. Obviously the one before, I don't get it. Am I missing something here? If I purchase, let's just say, I get my dad's truck and it has 4 tires on it. Then I need it had a spare, so I actually had 5. Then I take one of these tires, my spare, and I use it as the street tire. So we'll label these A's. So one of my A's is the street tire. Then I get right here 2 new tires, and I replace 2 of them because I don't know why, but I get B's, okay? And then one of these A's, you're saying that I'm using it as one of these I keep. So discount tire keeps 1, and then I decided to keep one of my A's because I still have on my truck the A's, 2 of the A's. And then this one somehow resurfaces in the lawn 5 to 6 months later. Would be the A. Actually A5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that would be A1. A5, A1. Yeah, this one was the one that was used in the street. That one's in evidence. But it's from like this batch, which is, those would all have to be all 4 tires that have to be the same. You know what? We're going to use colors. Here's my truck. I'm a horrible. This is my truck. Here's my spare. That's saying that the truck had all the same tires. So I decide, okay, hey, I'm going to use my spare tire to put it out in the middle of the road, which is going to be A5. So then A5's in the middle. And Jared's, so this would be in law enforcement, but then I switch and I buy 2 new pink ones. See, this was a who fucking gets a spare and then keeps a spare in their fucking garage? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Okay. Wouldn't the cops have had the tire? Yeah, guys, but that's what I'm saying. They have the one. So he starts with 5 tires. They use one of them to commit the murder, to put the tire out in the middle of the road. Then when he goes and gets 2 new tires in April, he puts the 2 new tires on. He gives one of the tires a discount tire to keep. Then he keeps one. So that's why they're looking for the truck to see if it would match these ones. And then he uses this as the spare to keep. And then this is the one that was found in the yard. So the one that the cops have, they're trying to say match the one that was in the yard. But this one comes up 5 months later, randomly just out sitting on the lawn. There you go. That's how that all works. How did they know it was a tire if they took it back home? Who took it back home? They didn't take it back home. They put a tire in the middle of the road so that Jared would have to pull over to move the tire. That was left makes sense, thank you. That was left at the crime scene. So they had a tire in evidence. Okay. And so the only way this is possible is if there had to be 4 tires originally put on that truck that were all 4 the same, to include a spare tire. Because you want to talk about what some odds would be if they were bought in 2s and 2s and 2s. That's fucking crazy. But I just want to know how this tire surfaces when it did, because I will tell you that Mario Saldana was going to that house to pick up the rent all the time, every month from that point on. And you're going to sit here and tell me that Mario Saldana would have seen that truck tire and been like, wait, what the fuck? Get this the fuck out of here. And so I thought about it. Maybe the tire was a ruse to see how they would all respond about the tire. So did they find Did they really find the truck maybe sooner? Just seems like super weird that 5 months would go by. This truck hasn't been used, seen since April. Okay. And that if he gave it to the mechanic, so if he wasn't using that truck since April, you're going to sit here and tell me that that tire has just been out on the street? Like, not the street, but the lawn. Okay, let's break it down for those. Okay. February 16th is the murder. Gets 2 new tires, April 2nd, 2022. That truck is not seen on any more license plate readers after April 23rd or something like that. Okay. So where was this tire? Okay, then you have the house, and there's just a tire that was just sitting up against the house there. But before it was sitting up here along the house, it was just, this is your yard because this is your street, your little grass, and there was just a tire here next to your mailbox. And I was tired of looking at that fucking thing, so they moved it here supposedly. And this all just had happened a week before they come to interview these guys on July 18th. Okay? So my question is who in their fucking mind, in their right mind, with Mario Saldana continuing to go over there all the time, and picking up rent and shit like that there was this tire that just happened to literally stay at this house from April until July. And then for the police to just happen to go on the day that this tire is still just miraculously just sitting there. April to May, May to June. That's 3 months. 3 months. So when the cops go over there to interview J.O., they say, "Oh, what's that tire doing there?" He's like, I don't know where it came from. It was in the front of my lawn, just sitting in the ditch. I pick it up because I was tired of looking at it filled with water. I pick it up and I move it. But then when he's interviewed again, he can't remember. He says he has no idea how it got put on the side of the house. Okay? I'm curious of this because J.O.'s story changed about something that you would think is so, like, why is your story changing? And also, I'm sorry, but that's a long time. You're trying to not have any ties back to you, and here, the one thing that could tie you up, and that's just when you're like, okay, this tire. And it wouldn't occur to you, like, oh, maybe we should, oh my God, what the hell is that tire doing here? Like, get it out of here. And normally when you have a spare tire, it stays on your vehicle, in the back of your truck. There's no good. Who has a spare tire that they keep outside of their house? Like, none of that sits well. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I know that it doesn't make sense because it just does. That shit would get stolen. That shit would be, especially have a rim on it. What is this? They processed Cherry Bradigan's work Apple Mac for any evidence related to this case. Okay. Now they finally, then look at this. Now September 6th, they find this vehicle. I think. At approximately 1700 hours, detective, conducted a search for Henry Tennant's truck in the vicinity. Several areas were identified by the location data provided by T-Mobile. Contact was made with Clarence Rubin, whoever, Old Kings Road. Rotor had several vehicles in various states of disrepair on the property. He confirmed this street comes up. This street's back here. I'm going to go back and look at that, actually. He said he was a mechanic, runs a business for this location. Burke was asked if he has worked on any blue F-150 recently. Burke said he worked on a blue F-150 earlier this year. He began to describe the owner of the vehicle in great detail. He said the owner of the vehicle was a tall black male who always had a dog with him. He said the owner advised he recently got the truck from his father who passed away in Georgia. Roddick informed the owner the motor needed to be replaced, but the owner disagreed. The owner wanted to change the oil pump because he thought this would fix the problem. These details were confirmed by J.O. and Janie. The mechanic advised the last time he saw the owner, he was driving a white Crown Vic. After the truck sat on his property for a while, the owner drove the truck to Twins Grocery. According to the truck sat there for an unknown length of time, and he does not know where it is at this time. Due to all of the above detail matching different statements by multiple individuals, it is believed this individual is Henry Tennant. Oh my God. The cellular phone was unable to be downloaded using conventional Celebrate forensic downloads. Whose was it? Tennant's cell phone was shipped to Celebrate Advanced Services. Holy shit. Oh. Oh my God. This is Bigger Staff's interview. What? Dude. So Mario Saldana picks Henry Tennant out to do this. Like, this is who you think is a hired hitman? No, this is Saldana. Like, I think trying to do a last ditch effort to make him so that he can keep this money train going. Bigger Staff advised he made a comment about how perfect Gardner's butt was, and that was the last time they talked about Gardner. Biggerstaff's wife did not want to go, and this was the last time he saw Gardner. Dude, Mario, I think, had sex with Biggerstaff's wife. Biggerstaff advised Saldana recently came to him and advised he was getting a divorce. Dude, this is going to be wild, man. I don't even know what to say about this shit. This is just fucking sick. Yeah. I don't know. She'd be doing them squats. Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna. Like, this just doesn't. I mean, you have millions upon millions of dollars, and you think Shanna Gardner waited all this time to go hire someone like Henry Tennant to kill her ex-husband? A complete and utter moron. Like a fucking drug addict. A fucking, like, are you kidding me? This seems fucked up. I don't know. This seems weird. This is wild. And then how do you know what to believe, what not to believe after Detective Johns just completely lied about all this shit on the stand? I don't know. Hire some guy that's never had a car before and finally gets a truck from his dad and he commits a murder with it. Like, that's just fucking crazy to me. And he goes from saying that, no, I didn't have the truck, to then saying, okay, I pulled the trigger. It's a big jump. Like, you know it. I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, this has to be the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. And then I'm just like, wait, where did they find the fucking truck at? When did they find the truck? What was the date on that again? And Biggerstaff, these people just. They were friends. Where's the gun? Where's the gun at? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. All right, we'll come back. I'll be starting up another live stream to do my Idaho stuff. Weird, just very weird. And then I'll be talking about Karen Reed here this week as well. Some movement there. All right, guys, until next time. Peace. Shanna Gardner, Jose Baez. He thinks that this case reeks and just something's weird about it. I just think that you would have gotten to Henry Tennant and this guy like within the first month. So why the 6 months? Tonight, yes. There's already a thumbnail for it. It's at 9 or 9:30. I just think that you would have went and talked to his. Jose Baez says it reeks. Do you agree or disagree? Yeah, hit notification. All right, peace. Later.